I got the bloodlust. Me too. I want to kill. Let's kill.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to The Bloodlust. This is your go-to podcast for classy broads talking horror since 2014. This is episode 274 of the program. Tonight we are talking about The Dead Thing, a low-budget picture set in Los Angeles. My name is Amy. I am your fearless leader, joined as always by my lovely and talented co-host Jamie.
Howdy.
Hey, how are ya?
Oh, just fine.
Getting ready for your trip?
Yep. Enjoying nicer weather and getting prepped to be in weather that I'm not accustomed to.
You've never been to Costa Rica before.
No, I don't tend to go places that are hotter than here.
Right.
If I can help it.
I'm sure it'll be really cool.
Oh yeah, there's a jungle.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a bird sanctuary nearby, I'm going to be a happy camper.
Very neat.
And it's the first all-inclusive place I've ever been to.
Oh, you'll love it.
So, we'll see how that goes. There's a little individual, like a hot tub on our balcony that overlooks the jungle.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm pretty interested in that.
Once you do an all-inclusive vacation, it spoils you. You're going to want to do one every year.
Well, great, because it's expensive.
It is expensive, yes. It is.
I haven't been on any sort of trip since like November, I guess. So
That really doesn't sound that long ago. It's only April.
it is for me. I try to do them like every couple months for my own mental health. So this is a long stretch for me to not have one.
Okay, well, I'm glad for you.
Yes, thank you.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
So this movie is about dating and relationships. And dysfunctional ones, in particular. So our round table tonight, Jamie, is, and listeners, is, what is your favorite horror movie dysfunctional relationship? I was thinking romantic relationship in particular, because there's a lot of dysfunctional family relationships in horror movies too.
Yes.
But I was thinking a romantic partnership.
Romantic.
Yeah.
That's where my mind was.
Okay.
Just based on this here movie.
So, Jamie, what are your thoughts on this topic?
Well, Amy, as always, I don't really know a favorite, so don't hold me to it in saying that this is my favorite.
Certainly.
Thank you. But one that popped into my brain that is one that I loved when we first watched it, and I would call it dysfunctional, but I also found it strangely romantic, is Spring.
Spring, yes.
Yep.
One of the only really romance-centered horror movies.
Yeah, it's not generally a genre that bleeds into horror super often.
No.
But I loved Spring.
That's a good choice.
I know.
Dysfunctional, of course, because she's a eldritch demon.
Sure, yeah. I mean, God, who hasn't been there?
We all make choices.
Right, and I get it. It's going to be complicated, but you want to give it a try. I loved it. I thought it was like an incredibly sweet and beautiful and romantic movie, and I don't usually even like get excited about those types of movies or get sucked into those, but that one I remember in particular, like I just really loved. And I think because it seemed like very authentic and very real, despite the demon part and the tentacles and the Lovecraftian visuals that we got. But
I agree.
I think
it ended up being a sweet and grounded love story.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think the fact that they had all of that other stuff in the movie and it still came out feeling like a romantic sort of sweet movie is a testament to just some good writing.
Still one of the best movies that Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead have made, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's one of my faves for sure.
That's a great choice. Any other ones you want to mention?
Oh, you had to ask me about another one.
I mean, I can name some of mine.
Yeah, go.
The one that immediately jumped to mind was Midsummer. That's got a really
sure.
deeply dysfunctional and frustrating
choice. Yeah.
relationship at its heart.
Yeah.
The horror doesn't exactly revolve around the relationship, but the relationship is its own kind of horror in the movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Another one
I was very uncomfortable watching a lot of their
interactions
scenes together. Yeah, just oof.
Some of the
Make your
more
skin crawl.
uncomfortable scenes in the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another one I thought of immediately was the Invisible Man remake with Elizabeth Moss that came out a couple years ago. That had a very abusive relationship at its heart.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess that's a different level of dysfunction.
That's a pretty high level of dysfunction.
Yeah.
Another one I think is one that we bring up a lot because it's probably my favorite horror movie, Rosemary's Baby. The relationship between Rosemary and Guy is deeply dysfunctional and the root of all of the problems in the movie.
Oh yeah. Yep, that's a good one.
And the worst husband in cinema, I think.
I feel like I just had one in my brain. And I forgot it.
One of your favorites.
Oh, Promising Young Woman.
Who does she have a relation? Well, I guess all the guys in it.
No, well, she has that relationship with Bo Burnham.
Oh, right. Yes.
And it's going really well, and then it is very much dysfunctional in the end.
No, that's right. That's right.
Or the relationship in Saint Maud between our dear Saint Maud and Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I would argue is rather dysfunctional.
Quite dysfunctional.
Uh-huh.
I thought of The Loved Ones. I don't know if I would call that a relationship, but it's certainly deeply dysfunctional.
How about Jugface? One we've mentioned multiple times, but she has a little tryst with her bro.
Ew. Yeah, that's gross.
I mean, that's dysfunctional.
Another one I thought of was one that I watched for the first time last year, which is Dead Ringers, which is a David Cronenberg film starring Jeremy Irons. And it's about, I've talked about it on the podcast before, but it's about these twin gynecologists, these identical twin gynecologists, both played by Jeremy Irons, who both end up having a relationship with this woman, who at first doesn't know that they're different people.
Sure.
Because the one is very outgoing and charismatic, and the other one's very shy and retiring. And so the charismatic one ends up like picking up all these chicks, and then he gives them when he's done with them to his brother.
Ooh.
Yeah. So there's a whole dysfunctional trio going on in that one.
Sounds like it.
It's a pretty cool movie.
I feel like I wanted to see it when you mentioned it the other time, and now I want to again. It sounds interesting, but also Jeremy Irons.
I know you like him.
Yeah.
So I figured it would be something you would like.
Yes.
The other one that I thought of, and this can be the last one, we don't have to keep going because there's a lot of them.
Yeah. I feel like once you start going, there's a lot.
Another one I thought of is Bug, the couple in Bug. Have you seen that? It's with Michael Shannon and Ashley Judd. And it's a cool movie. I'm pretty sure William Friedkin made it, actually. And it is about a guy who is, I think he's a paranoid schizophrenic, and he is convinced that there are little microscopic bugs all over him. And eventually he's able to persuade his partner, and they end up, it's kind of a folie à deux situation where he convinces her, and they both end up being consumed with paranoia over these bugs.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Well, I like Michael Shannon and Ashley Judd, so
yeah.
Okay.
I think it was the first movie I saw him in.
Okay.
But
is it older one?
Oldish.
Oh, okay.
Probably like 2000s, early 2000s.
Okay.
So those are some dysfunctional couples from movies. I would love to hear yours, listeners. The couple in You're Next is a pretty dysfunctional couple.
Oh,
in that
yeah.
her boyfriend's an asshole.
Or Ready or Not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I rewatched one fairly recently that fits that bill, but I also rewatched Ready or Not recently, so that could be what I'm thinking of. I love that. What a great movie.
Yeah, I really loved Ready or Not too. Very disappointing their next movie. We didn't review it for the show, but it was not good.
Yeah, I didn't want to see it. I didn't think it looked good. It is too bad.
Yeah,
That's
it
okay.
really was too bad. I hope that their next thing is good.
I think there's going to be another Ready or Not.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. I mean, she killed everyone in the family. How are they going to do that?
Either focus on somebody else that is part of the same cult, or I don't know, or her afterwards, or I'm not sure. I just know I read it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that are coming out or have come out, that was not the best segue I've ever done, but listeners, there's a new season of Black Mirror out. If you've been a long-time listener to the show, you'll know that we are big fans of that program. And I don't have Netflix anymore, but Jamie has watched at least 4 episodes from the new season, which came out last Friday, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And what did you think, Jamie?
Well, it's not, it doesn't keep up with the first 4 seasons, like the original Black Mirror.
Right.
And that's not to say those are the best, because there are some from later ones that I absolutely loved. USS Callister is without a doubt one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Incredibly bleak, makes me feel very away at the end. Just the thought of being forever left just hovering in space.
Right.
Not even in space, just like blackness forever. Yeah, it hits me on a level that's very uncomfortable. But this season, from what I can tell, 4 episodes in, it's definitely not hitting those same beats for me anyway. I think the first episode that sort of like brought in some technology with regards to like keeping someone alive. So it's one of those that sort of like ties medical technology and futuristic technology and gives you a sort of, what's that? I'll be right back. Where she like kind of can keep someone alive.
Yeah.
It's kind of along those veins. I didn't mind that. It was kind of boring, but I liked it. And the second episode was all right too. It was a cool concept, but I would say like by and large, they're boring.
Really?
And they don't, I think my thing with Black Mirror is that I think they just hit it so far out of the park with those first handful of seasons when it was a British production. Right. And before it went to Netflix. Like, there are memorable episodes in those seasons that I don't think they could possibly create one that touches anything close to that. And I've liked some of the new ones, but those are just the best. So I can never help but compare to those. And I think this season objectively is like incredibly dull and boring when compared to like really almost any past season of Black Mirror, which is too bad. But
yeah, the later ones that I watched on Netflix, and I never finished the last season either, they just felt like it. I know Charlie Booker has written them still, but it felt like someone else trying to make Black Mirror, like an imitation of Black Mirror.
Or just like too many people having input on what, like how the story should go, or I don't know if it's like for an American audience or for a Netflix specific audience, but they don't have that edge that earlier ones did. And it's what it is. It's just a bummer when you're hoping they're going to be similar to what you loved the show for, but it's fine. There's one that I absolutely like hated though.
Do you remember the title?
No, but I have them all right here. I think it's called Hotel Reverie. And the premise was really kind of cool. Like, it was interesting. I was on board. It was Black Mirror-esque. It was mainly just that the main actress in it I thought was absolutely terrible. She couldn't act for shit, in my opinion. Like, I would say, I mean, it was so bad that I just found it incredibly distracting through the entire thing. Like, anytime she was on delivering lines or even giving face of any sort to the camera, I was just pulled out of everything because it seemed like she was bored with all of it.
So she underacted?
Oh, yeah. I just think she came across as almost as someone who, like, just walked on set and, like, someone did a favor and gave her the job.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just was not a fan. But the weird thing is, like, the other actress in that episode, like, I thought she was really great. So I don't know. Issa Rae.
Yeah, you that was the one you hated?
Yes.
Really?
Yep. I thought she was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Like, angry through half of it because I didn't understand
you hated
how
her.
she got that role.
Wow.
But yeah, it's all right. I think fans of Black Mirror are going to watch them regardless because we're all kind of just waiting to see if one of them's going to fit, the mold of the earlier ones.
And everything's so dystopian lately. It just seems like this would be a great time for
sure.
more good Black Mirror.
I do know the last episode of the season is sort of a sequel to USS Callister, like picks up
Really?
after the ending of the first one. So
No kidding.
I have higher hopes for that.
Well, that's
and I'm pretty
interesting.
pumped about that because I like everyone in it and I loved that episode. Like, that episode could have been a movie.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I wonder, so does it have the same cast?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yep.
Cool.
I know.
Okay. You'll have to let me know how that one is once you watch it.
Yeah, I will.
Very interesting. All right, well, it's been a few minutes here. Why don't we get started talking about the dead thing? The dead thing in the room.
That dead thing.
Weird title for this movie.
Yeah. I mean, I guess whatever.
Just so it's a choice. It's a choice.
There were a lot of choices.
Yeah. Jamie, why don't you give us the stats for this one?
I sure will. This is Unrated, as a runtime of 1 hour 34 minutes, directed by Elric Kane, written by Elric Kane and Webb Wilcoxon. These are not real names. It stars Blue Hunt, Ben Smith Peterson, and Catherine Hughes. It premiered Fantasia Film Festival, July 26, 2024. Limited release in U.S. theaters on February 11th, 2025. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's 83% fresh with critics, and it currently has no audience score.
Yeah, not enough people have rated it on there for it to have a score. Thank you, Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
This movie was made for... I saw 100,000 and I saw 50,000. So it depended on where I looked. So somewhere between 50 and 100,000. So a very low budget movie. The guy who made it, Elric Kane, he sounds like a WWE guy or something, huh?
Yes.
He is a podcaster. He also, I think, writes for Fangoria. And used to have a horror podcast called Shockwaves that was a Fangoria podcast. And then now he currently has one called... I forget what his current podcast is called, but it's about the films that are at the New Beverly Theater in Los Angeles.
Ah, okay.
So this is his first full-length movie. He's made some shorts, but this is his first full-length movie. And it is about a woman who is very depressed in her mid to late 20s. Her name is Alex. And the movie picks up with her going on a bunch of random dates from guys she meets on an app. And she lives in LA. The movie is set in LA. And she doesn't really even talk for the first 10 minutes of the movie. we just see kind of a montage of her going on all these dates.
Her dates.
Yeah, hooking up with guys and then not ever talking to them again until she meets this guy, Kyle, who she feels that she has a connection with.
Because he has a cat in his profile picture.
Yeah, the connection is not super clear to us. I mean, we don't see them. It's not like before sunrise or anything.
No.
But she makes this connection with this guy, stays over, they stay up all night talking, blah, blah, blah. Then he ghosts her. So she, like a creep, starts following him and investigating and looking into his life. And then we find out some very disturbing things about this guy. So that is what the movie is about. It is, well, I don't want to tell you what type of horror movie it is because that would reveal stuff about the twist, and we don't want to do that.
It's romantic horror.
I guess.
Sure.
Romantic, sort of.
If that's your thing.
I guess. So, Jamie, what did you think about The Dead Thing?
Well, overall, I thought it was kind of boring. I thought it had a number of plot holes. Didn't make a lot of sense. I think the story needed to be very much more tightened up before putting it to film. That being said, for maybe the first, 25 minutes, maybe half hour of this movie, I was kind of into it because it has a strange quality, I guess, throughout it, but I noticed it more so in that first 25-30 minutes where it's very kind of dreamlike, but it also, the way the story progresses and you learn about the characters and see what's happening on the screen, it felt to me very reminiscent of an X-Files episode, an early X-Files episode where it's kind of like a serious drama almost, but you do have this hint of something sinister or supernatural that's sort of looming in the background, and you kind of get ideas about it, but it's not fully revealed just yet. And it just made me think of a number of X-Files episodes that have that same sort of quality where you kind of connect to all the characters in there. Not that I connected to them, but I mean, they're realistic. There's nothing at face value wrong with them. You don't see anything supernatural or strange about them from the get-go. So but you can tell there's definitely this tone that something's going to happen. And so I liked it up until that point. And then it just hit a moment, I guess, sort of when the story changes, where it's not even that I didn't like where the story went or how it changed. It just didn't make a lot of sense. And then from then on, it failed to make almost any sense to me. Having seen a shit ton of movies in my time, I can easily say, well, here's what I think maybe they were going for. But you have to, I feel you have to really be clutching at straws to put stuff like that together. And I think there was so much lacking in the overall storytelling and the cohesiveness of everything that I'm really doing it a favor by saying, here's how I thought it, what they were trying to say, sort of deal. That being said, I thought Blue Hunt, was that her name? The main actress. I thought she was great. I thought she did a great job. I thought the guy playing Kyle could have literally been anybody.
Yeah,
similar
he was
to
not
how I was
very good
referring to the actress Issa Rae or whatever in that episode. Felt incredibly tone deaf, one note, no emotion. It basically just reciting lines that they're reading off a card. It just took me out of it because you're supposed to presumably be understanding why, or feeling some sort of connection that she feels with him, an understanding why she's being drawn in and engage with the film in that way. And I just absolutely didn't, because right away I'm like, what?
Right.
This guy's dull.
What do you see in him?
Shit. You're right. There's nothing on his face. He barely says anything. He's not interesting.
He's about as exciting as macaroni salad.
And I like macaroni salad, so it's probably like just bad macaroni salad that's been sitting out a while.
But I wouldn't call it exciting.
No, it's not exciting. But yeah, he's just, oh my God, was so dull that it just really kind of took away from probably what they were trying to do with that part of the story.
Yeah.
I liked how it was filmed. I thought there were a lot of visuals that were really kind of cool. And
I agree. It had a really nice look.
Yeah, I think the director has a really nice eye for creating cool looking scenes. And I thought the pacing of scenes and progression of things, however they rolled out in the story, was fine. But I do think it was like too long. And even for a movie that's an hour and 34 minutes, I think it maybe threw me off that it felt so much in the beginning to me, or so reminiscent of like an X-Files episode. It felt like it was something that should have been much more
a tight
condensed,
45.
which, like you said, I didn't know this guy did like a number of shorts beforehand, and that sort of tracks because we've said it with other movies before. This felt like someone who's done a lot of shorts and then wants to do a movie, so they just take a idea for a short and they just sort of stretch it out and try to beef it up in some places and stretch out the runtime. And to me, that's like 100% what this felt like.
Yeah, it does feel. It also felt to me like the momentum was screwed up at the end, where there was a natural point where it felt like a climax, and then it went on for quite a while afterwards.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree with that. Yeah, so it wasn't my favorite. I wouldn't say that like, wow, I hated it. I hated the whole time I sat there watching it, because it wasn't terrible. I really liked the visuals of it. I really liked how it looked. I liked the soundtrack, and like the score of it was really nice. And I think, you know, a good number of the actors that were in it did a really good job. So it wasn't like a bad movie. It just, whatever it was they were trying to do did not hit with me. And I thought the main guy, who a lot of the plot or the storyline is resting on, I thought he was just so incredibly milquetoast and dull and just uninteresting that it really took away a lot for me.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, I think part of it is owed to the fact that it's such a low budget movie, and it's probably not easy to find a better caliber of actor, you know, so you want to give them a little bit of grace with that. But they were lucky to find the actress that played the lead, because she was better than everybody else in the movie.
And maybe that was almost to a fault too, because
maybe it made everyone else look worse.
Exactly. Her in comparison to everyone else just made that stand out even more. But although I don't feel like I noticed it or clocked it as much with anybody else, he was just particularly one note. So it seemed like they were just trying to sort of cast a hunky guy.
Right.
And I didn't even find him hunky. So really no boxes were ticked for me on that aspect.
Yeah, he looked kind of like a skinhead.
Yeah, he kind of did.
Yeah. Not my type either.
But yeah, I don't regret watching it. I think it's a cool little like indie movie. And if you've got Shudder and stuff, I think it's totally worth checking out, because I think, like I said, I think the director does some really neat and cool things with visuals. I think he does a really nice job. It's really pretty to look at. And again, the score and soundtrack is really nice. But if you're looking for something that's going to kind of blow you away story-wise, or like be a big surprise for you, or something scary or super interesting, I couldn't confidently say that this is any of those things.
Yeah. But you would recommend it?
I think I would. Only because, like, one, it's short. And it's an indie horror film, so the guy's just getting started. It's low budget, so you do got to give it, like, you know, cut it some slack with that. And I think the concept was really actually pretty interesting. I don't think it was, like, executed as well as it probably could have been, but I think it was a neat idea. And yeah, but I mean, there wasn't a moment while I was watching it where I was like, oh my God, I wish I could just turn this off, because I would have. But I didn't want to. Like, I still liked what I was watching. It just wasn't the most, like, engaging or exciting thing. It was a good sit.
You don't regret the sit?
No.
I don't think I liked it quite as much as you. I agree that it had some pretty visuals. There's a particular scene where several scenes where the main character is sitting in front of like a sun lamp. Mm-hmm. And there's one scene in particular where she's sitting in front of the sun lamp and it's a close up on her face and she's got a bunch of glitter eye makeup on and it's running down her face. There's just like glitter, like black glitter running down her face. I thought that shot was really cool.
And see, I hated that.
You hated that?
Yeah, I was like, well, this is stupid.
I thought it was pretty.
But that was a little artsy, too artsy-fartsy for me.
I thought it was cool.
I will tell you, so much glitter makeup around your eyes that you're getting a steady stream of black.
Right, it was very unrealistic because she definitely didn't have that much makeup on.
Right.
But I like the effect.
Sure.
I'll tell you what's pretentious, man. You want to see pretentious is look up the article that this director wrote where he names his films that were the inspiration for this.
Oh.
Woo, boy. Made me cringe. Don't do that. Actually,
I'm not gonna.
Definitely not.
I'll just trust you on that one.
Especially you. So I did like the look of it. I think he has a good grasp of visual storytelling. I enjoyed the beginning lack of dialogue, especially because once there does start to be dialogue, the dialogue is not good. I think
it ebbs and flows. Like it's all right at times, and then it's like, oh, a little cringy.
I found a lot of it pretty cringy and not very natural feeling.
Oh, right.
And
from him particularly.
Especially from him. But even also the conversations that she had, like with her coworker and stuff, and not just the sexual harassment one, but the other one. I found that the dialogue to be pretty bad. I think that the screenplay is the weakest part of this. I think that it sort of also falls into the trap that we've seen often with first-time filmmakers, where they try and cram in as many ideas and big picture things as they can into their movie. And while I like the idea that was probably his jumping off point here, I don't know that I don't think that the writing was savvy enough to really sell what he was trying to sell.
I would agree with that for sure.
I think that, the movie's trying to portray the perils of dating in the modern era with apps and everything, and feeling disconnected and stuck in a mindless routine, right? But I don't think the writing was savvy enough to convey the characters' motivations very well.
No, I don't think so.
We know that Alex was dissatisfied with her life, but we don't really understand her very well. And the dialogue that she's given to kind of explain herself and her feelings, to me, was not effective.
Mm-mm. I'd agree.
And I really like the idea. Well, I can't talk about that yet because that would spoil things. I also agree with you that the first act is the strongest. I actually really was enjoying this for the first act because I felt like it was keeping me guessing and it wasn't revealing its cards too quickly. And I was really on board with the chase and the investigation of this guy. Even though I felt like she was a wackadoo for doing it, I was on board and interested in what she was doing. And I found the movie compelling when we're trying to kind of figure out who this guy is and what's his deal. I found that part to be really strong. But
when I was getting the like X-Files type vibes, I was totally on board because I freaking love X-Files. So like if you're doing that successfully, like I'm in. But that was very much specific to the first act.
Yeah, when it becomes clear what kind of movie it's going to be, I think there was still a potential for it to be interesting, but I don't like the way they chose to. I don't like the path they chose to go down for it.
Yeah.
I don't want to say too much more, but I think we'll have more to talk about in the spoilers. I'm not going to recommend this. And usually on the show, if we don't recommend the movie, we like to recommend something that you watch instead.
Yep.
And for this one, I think I would recommend a movie called Starry Eyes.
Oh, an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah, we reviewed that on the show years back. And it is also a low-budget movie, also about a young woman in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
This Starry Eyes is about a woman pursuing an acting career as opposed to someone pursuing a relationship. So it's not relationship dynamic focused, but I think it has a similar feel, and I think that it's a lot more... I think it's a lot sharper of a movie. It has a lot more suspense, and it's definitely a lot grosser. But I think it's kind of a...
It was a gross one.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. But I think that a lot of the movies that this filmmaker was modeling this movie after are better. You can see their influences better in Starry Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Starry Eyes...
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. I think that Starry Eyes sets out to do what it's trying to do and the story it's trying to tell much more successfully than this one. If I'm trying to recommend a movie that is about the perils of modern relationships,
it'd be Fresh or Flesh. What was that one? She like goes on a date with
wasn't that called Fresh?
Sebastian
Is that
Stan.
right?
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. And then wakes up like chained in his basement.
Yeah, I like that too. That was good. I like that better than this.
Mm-hmm. I definitely did.
What would be a good movie to recommend with like possessive, controlling partner dynamics in horror?
See, I barely even got that from this.
From him? He was so abusive.
No. I did, but only for like, for a specific reason that had to do with the spoilery aspect of it. But like, I think it was just because the character was so poorly written and conveyed on screen that like his overall like controllingness, it didn't come across to me anyways immediately as that like, oh, that's a part of like who he was or who he is, like just a part of his persona. I thought it very much had to do with what we learn about him.
Yeah, I wondered that, and we'll talk about that actually, because that was a question that I had too. I would rate this a 2.5.
Same.
Same? Okay.
Yep.
So that is what we think about The Dead Thing. If you plan on watching it, then you probably don't want the twist spoiled, because finding out the twist is the most interesting part of the movie. So
yeah, it's true.
I would say if you're planning on watching this, listen no further. But if you don't care or you've already seen it, we're about to talk spoilers.
Yeah.
Jamie, do you think that this filmmaker was like, I have the perfect idea for a movie. What if this girl gets ghosted by an actual ghost?
Fucking ghost. Yeah, no.
That had to be the pitch, right?
That was at some coked up party where they're drinking, and he's like, hey, guys, I got it.
It's just going to encapsulate everything about modern dating.
Just listen to me. And everyone was like, shit, Elric. Fucking shit, man. You got it. Make it. And he did. And maybe they should have told him to like laugh a little. But to be honest, hey, you did your thing, Elric. You had a dream and you saw it through.
So
Successfully?
I found it interesting. I like the idea that we continue to pursue the same kind of unproductive pathways, even unto death. You know, I think that's a cool idea.
Like being stuck in a loop, essentially.
Yes. But it's not explored well here. If she had continued, because when she first realizes that the guy is dead, he doesn't recognize her.
Right.
He just seemingly is going on date after date after date, and it just resets. He's not aware that he's dead. He's just in this loop where he's somehow a ghost using an app.
Yeah.
But then she's able to point out to him that he's dead. And from that point, everything he does is very confusing. His motivations
incredibly confusing.
Aren't clear at all. Mm-mm. Was he already a bad guy when he was alive?
Not according to his little prayer card.
Right. But I mean, they're never going to have a prayer card that says he was kind of an asshole. Nobody's that sad he's gone.
No, but I mean, like, we have nothing else to go by.
Right. Right.
To think about his, like, pre-death life.
So the guy ends up realizing that he's dead, having uncontrollable urges to kill, also becoming an incredibly abusive boyfriend. I just felt like that was very unearned. He just immediately started being that way. It just felt very
well, and see, what
rushed,
I
guess.
got from it, or how I saw it, was that, like, his controlling urges or his controlling nature came out when she sort of broke the loop for him by letting him know he was actually dead. And then that there was some sort of, and I think this was telegraphed, maybe not like super cohesively or like coherently, but I think pretty clearly visually in the movie, where like he was almost like sucking life force from her.
Yes, or he
when
wanted
they were together
to take over her body.
So I feel like that was almost the controlling part of it, was that like he had this moment where he's like, okay, I'm dead and I accept that or whatever. But like then he realizes that being with her, he almost feels more alive and has this like connection to the life he knew before that he wouldn't without her. But that in order for that to continue on, he has to stay with her. Like he physically needs her. But in doing that, he also is like taking from her. And I think that's like taking agency, taking life force, taking energy, whatever. But like clearly, I mean, you see that like she loses what they say, like 9 days. She just disappears because she's having what she thinks is just like a night with him.
Right. Yeah, I felt the same way. Like he's like a succubus.
Yeah.
Or he's just trying to like get inside her body and control her body and take over her body. It wasn't super clear.
Yeah, I didn't think that, especially with the very, very end. I feel like that's less likely, almost just like because
he
right
needed to
before
stay
he
attached
died
to her
is when he matched with her. So that's just some weird sort of thing that he's like tied to. That's just like the weird last thing he remembers from his alive life. You know what I mean? Like, so she's just sort of that connection. And then she does break whatever loop he's in. Mm-hmm. And so I think he just feels truly like tied to her. He physically and spiritually or whatever, like needs her. And then I think for her, it's exciting at first because she felt some connection and wanted to be around him. But then obviously like, Buddy took it a little too far.
Yeah.
And started killing people, and you never want to do that.
I feel like the sex scenes or the way they were trying to convey that succubus business or whatever, and I don't think they did it very effectively because it was pretty unclear. I also thought that the sex scenes were very
uncomfortable and just awkward.
Yeah, and repetitive.
I mean,
and
sure,
long.
they can be awkward anyways, but it's also like there's nothing happening. It's just like boring ass
It was like a
missionary. And it looks like
Cinemax
he's like
movie.
choking her from the top or something with his arm, and she doesn't look comfortable.
No.
And like, what am I supposed to be feeling here? This doesn't look exciting.
They were weirdly choreographed and awkward.
Yeah.
And that was really the only spot where I felt like his direction wasn't great. I felt like those scenes were not very well filmed. They kind of reminded me of The Room. Or that movie Come True. Just like extended, weird, out of place sex scenes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I mean. Those were all the kind of parts that sort of felt like filler in the stretching out
Yes.
of a short into a film length. It's just like, oh, let's put some of this stuff in. Okay, but like, you got to have something worth watching there. There's got to be some substance, and it
Right.
just didn't feel like there was any.
I agree. So yeah, not a fan of this one. Listeners, that is what we think about The Dead Thing. This is streaming on Shudder and AMC Plus. Watch it if you choose. Or watch Starry Eyes. Let me tell you what
I would
Starry Eyes
recommend
is
Starry
streaming
Eyes
on.
because Starry Eyes was great.
It's great.
You bringing it up again kind of makes me want to rewatch it. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. That was one of the earlier movies we reviewed.
And it was gross and fun.
Very gross. Starry Eyes looks to be on Peacock and AMC Plus.
Great.
So let us know what you thought about The Dead Thing. We'd love to hear from you. With that said, listeners, I have a very large announcement. We're very sad to announce that our lovely and talented co-host Jamie is leaving us.
Aww.
But it has been a full decade, and that is a very long commitment to make.
It's the longest one I've ever been in. Been a part of.
So I hope you join me in thanking Jamie for all of her hard work and contribution to the show.
Yes, I've had a great time doing it. It's been awesome from the beginning, hanging out and chatting about movies that I'll probably see anyways, but chatting about them with friends. It's always fun, but it's been a long time, and I've just got a lot of different things going on now, and moving on to those different things. Moving on. But I do totally intend on being back for the occasional guest appearance for certain things. I better be there for any Robert Eggers ones.
Probably Ari Aster.
Maybe the occasional like solid crime movie, Ari Aster for sure. Like there's certain ones I'm gonna want to chat about anyways. So, but those will just be little special nuggets for y'all.
Nuggets. Well, we hope you won't be a stranger.
No, I don't intend to. I'm not going anywhere.
Excitingly, Jamie will actually be able to listen to the podcast now.
Yay!
Because she doesn't like to hear her voice, so
now
she'll be able to listen.
Yeah, I'll actually get to cue it up and listen to it.
So that'll be nice. But Jamie, it's been a pleasure working with you all this
Agreed.
time.
Yes. I mean, we'll still see each other, but
sure.
But yeah, no, it has. It's been super fun. I've liked it the whole way through. It's just, that's how things go. But I'm still going to see the scary movies, so I will be sure to send in some roundtable questions when they come up.
Great.
And some recommends.
Very good.
I sent you one just a couple days ago that I read about, and I was like, oh, this sounds like something I want to see because it sounds like it's bleak as shit.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, I'll still be tangentially around and a part of things, or just around anyways. But yeah, this chapter is closing.
But we will not be ending the podcast. The podcast will continue.
Yes.
And I am bringing in a new co-host whom you have already met. Also lovely, also talented. And someone who doesn't have as much experience with horror, so we'll be kind of getting back to the,
I
more
think that'll be fun.
experienced, less experienced.
Mm-hmm.
So
it'll be a fun perspective to have more regularly.
Yeah, but they'll probably make us start talking about musicals more. So that'll be something my listeners
I'm here
are
for
going
it.
to have to get into. So yes, my partner / fiance Kay is going to be joining us in the future, and I hope that you will enjoy that, listeners. They're very charming. I think that you
Yes,
will.
we love Kay. They're great.
So our next episode in 2 weeks will be the beginning of the new era with Kay as the co-host. And what will we be reviewing? Well, when we went to see Mickey 17 last week, which I did not like, gave the same rating as I gave this movie, which is very disappointing for a Bong Joon-ho movie.
Yeah, too bad.
Yeah. But when we were seeing that, we saw a trailer for Sinners, which is the new Ryan Coogler movie. Ryan Coogler, of course, is the director of such blockbusters as Black Panther and Creed. So he has made a vampire film.
Sure.
Starring Michael B. Jordan. And it's getting good reviews. It's a vampire western.
I thought the trailer looked kind of sweet, to be honest. I think the costuming looks good, and plus Michael B. Jordan.
No kidding. So I'm
babe.
looking forward to that. I hope that you listeners will also go see it in the theater when it comes out. What is it? April 18th is the release date for that. So this coming Friday, it'll be out. I hope you listeners will go see it and then join Kay and I in 2 weeks' time to discuss it. Listeners, I want you to know that Kay's favorite movie is Repo the Genetic Opera.
It's a great place to start.
And I think at some point we are going to review that because I'm a very nice partner and I want to keep Kay happy. So
It's kind of a classic, to be honest.
such a weird movie.
It really is.
Such a weird movie. Just the green screen. It just is so strange. So anyway, I want to give you a heads up that we're probably going to be doing that soon. But for now, our next episode is going to be Sinners. We hope that you will join us in 2 weeks to talk about it. We'd also hope that if you have not done so yet, you'll give us a review and a rating on your podcast listening platform of choice, and that you'll tell your friends and loved ones about us. Or enemies, whoever you think would like us.
Yeah, whoever.
Yeah. And keep those cards and letters coming. You can send us hate mail for Jamie leaving and say you'll never listen again. Jamie was the best part of the show. How could you consider going on without her? Send those all to thebloodlustpodcast@gmail.com.
Could use a good chuckle. Yeah, send those.
Or thebloodlust.net. You can leave a comment on our website. Or you can leave us a message on Instagram or Facebook. So do that.
Do it.
All right, listeners, thank you very much for listening to this episode 274 of the program. Jamie, thank you again for joining me for these past 10 years. It has been my pleasure.
And mine. You're welcome. I've had a great time. It's very bittersweet.
Yeah. So this has been episode 274, and I have been Amy.
And I am Jamie.
Thank you, good night, and hail Satan.
Yay.